Good morning, everyone. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Supervisor Brandow.
Here.
Supervisor Magsic.
Here.
Supervisor Pacheco.
Here.
Supervisor Mendez.
Here.
Chairman Quintero.
Here.
All present. Thank you.
Good morning, all, and welcome to the Tuesday, September 19th, 2023 meeting of the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. We'll begin today's meeting with the invocation and flag salute, and the invocation will be led by District 1, which is Supervisor Brian Pacheco. And following the invocation, please remain standing for the flag salute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, Sonia Dosti is the Public Information Officer for the Fresno County Administrative Office. She has 8 years of public sector communications and PR experience, including working for Central Unified prior to joining us here at the county. For a little fun fact, prior to working in communications and PR, she worked in the film and TV industry in Los Angeles as a production, studio, and network executive. Sonia is married to Ben, the senior pastor at Harvest Fresno Church, and they have 2 teenage sons. She has also served as the women's ministry director and in their children's ministry for many years. So here's Fresno County owned Sonia Dosti. Thank you. Please stand.
Thank you, Supervisor Pacheco, Chairman and the Board. Let us go before the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful morning. We thank you that you have granted us this ability to live in Fresno County where we have so much beauty around us. We pray today, Lord, that you would endow our Board of Supervisors with your wisdom to make decisions that would benefit all residents of our county. We pray, Father, for all of the county and law enforcement leaders and staff. Lord, help us all to be reminded that what we do is a calling, that we will serve humbly, and that when the public interacts with us, that they would truly see the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We pray also for our nation, Father, that you would help every leader and all of us to pursue unity and peace, because as you said so eloquently in Matthew, a house divided cannot stand. And lastly, we also pray that you would help each and every one of us to listen well, that we would listen to better understand one another so we know how we can better serve one another. We thank you again for this opportunity to be together. Help us to serve our community well and help us to serve you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Item number 1, approve agenda.
Okay. Are there any comments from board members at this time? Okay. With that, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the agenda. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We now move to item number 2, approve consent agenda item numbers 21 through 62. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I've been informed of an update to the consent item number 41 under agriculture. The first recommended action is for your board to authorize the Agriculture Commissioner, Sealer of Weights and Measures, or designee to approve and execute the agreement on behalf of the County of Fresno. However, on page 1 of the agreement provided by the department, the person signing is incorrectly listed as being Chairman Quintero and should instead list Agriculture Commission Sealer of Weights, Melissa Cragen, or a designee from her department. That is the correction to item 41.
Thank you for the correction, Madam Clerk. These matters are routine in nature and are usually approved by a single vote. Are there any members of the board who would like an item removed from the consent for discussion? Supervisor Brandow.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'd like to pull item number 47, please.
47?
Yes.
Okay, any other members of the board like to? Okay. Seeing none, are there any members of the public who would like an item removed for discussion? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion and a second.
I'll move. Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3, clerk.
Item number 3, under the Board of Supervisors, presentation of retirement plaque to Maria Isabel Aguirre, Department of Social Services, 32 years of service.
Director Bouguet, step forward to make a few comments about Maria Isabel Aguirre. Where is Maria?
There she is.
Don't be shy, Maria.
All right. Bring my family with me.
That's fine.
Perfect.
And we have few members of DSS team that are in the audience who wanted to be here for Maria. So it is absolutely my pleasure to recognize Maria Aguirre, who has served over 32 years in the Department of Social Services and retired a few months ago. And look how smiley she is. But I genuinely want to share a few things with you. Maria has started as a student intern in 1989 and then became a social worker in our voluntary family maintenance and child welfare program and had promoted through child welfare for 25 years in her career. She earned her master's in social work through a Title IV program in Fresno State and has always been dedicated to her profession. In '97, Maria became a social work supervisor and played a role in designing and leading many different strategies to support staff in the development of best practices. The management team could always rely on Maria to build relationships with the community as well as with her staff. And in 2007, Maria became a program manager and was then assigned to a newly built West Fresno Regional Center. Her ability to have good relationships was instrumental in helping both DSS staff, along with other departments, settle in the area and build programs in that regional center. Many characterize Maria as genuine, humble, empathetic, but somebody who was always willing to share her opinion and improve our programs and services. In 2015, Maria became a deputy director over employment services and our welfare to work programs. And part of this was an exciting career move for Maria because our CalWorks and employment services is really are programs that help prevent entries into child welfare. She used what she knew from her years of experience in child welfare to inspire staff and really start to change the approach to delivery of services in our CalWorks programs. And in 2021, the piece that I really want to acknowledge, Maria was asked by our CAO to step into her role of an interim director while the county was looking for a new director. And Maria's reputation and experience in both child welfare programs and across the board was really the reason why she was asked to step into this role. And she led the department through the really tumultuous times in our department. And her humility, strong relationship skills, and ability to collaborate filled this gap and brought stability to DSS. She really did an excellent job for not just child welfare, but for the department. So as a director of DSS currently, I want to thank Maria for her dedication to DSS and really long years of service to both our community and our department, and really want to acknowledge how much she's contributed to success of DSS. So congratulations on your retirement, and you have a lot to be proud of.
Maria, before you speak, are there any members from the staff that would like to speak? Nobody?
They're good.
Okay.
Can I say?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say to Maria that I met her when I was a secretary, and we had our meeting hiking, and that's how we actually met. And it was really fun. And from there, I just saw her commitment to the department, to the children. She was in child welfare at the time that I met her, and she really, truly always cared for the services that we provide, always looking for prevention was her thing, and continues to be her thing. So I just wanted to say I had a lot of fun with you. I learned a lot from you. Thank you.
Good morning. Just real briefly, I also had an opportunity to meet and work with Maria. Maria and I connected on another level. I am a care provider for my mother, and she a care provider for her family members. And so we connected and would share and would talk about the challenges And she became a really great confidant who fully understood what we were going through while we were working together. So I appreciate you, Maria, and congratulations.
Are there any comments from the board?
No, we do her first. She usually goes first.
Before the comments? Yeah. Okay, Maria.
Thank you. I just want to, Sonia asked me to come a long time ago, and I said, no, thank you. I didn't do the work to be recognized. I had a very rewarding career, and I'm very grateful for that. Of course, I couldn't have done it without my community and without the staff of DSS. You have great staff in DSS, very dedicated, and that truly believe in helping people. And I wanted to come for that, to thank you all, and of course, thank my family, for their support. My kids, Elazar, Alejandro, and Isabella, and of course, my husband, Elazar. I didn't realize how much time I spent away from them, but I decided to retire early so that I can do that. I can spend time with them and really enjoy their sports. They love to play sports. They all play sports. And so now I get to go to all their games without being worried about work and being late or whatever. So, but I wanted to thank Paul for the opportunity, and of course, all of you. Thank you for believing in me and trusting me to lead this big agency. I really appreciate it. And of course, my community. That's what I do best. That's what I love to do. And hopefully I will continue contributing to my community. Thank you.
Any comments from the board?
I would, Mr. Chairman. Maria, I just, retiring early, 32 years, everyone has their own definitions of early, and I applaud you for that, yeah. And I just want the people at large to know that Maria, she stepped up when Delfina Nera left Social Services Director to serve as our intern. And it's the county's largest department with over 2,700 employees. And she took over at a time when the department was going through several significant issues. And she served as interim director until we found our permanent director during a very, very difficult time. And it takes a very strong person to do that. And you did that admirably. And you've helped me with significant issues in Southwest Fresno. A lot of tough questions, but you were always there to treat the people with respect and give them an honest answer. And I greatly appreciate everything you did during that time period. I wanted you to know that today. Appreciate it, yeah.
Maria, I also appreciate your work as deputy director. I got to know you, of course, at that time during that difficult time, but you did really a great job in guiding us through that particular time in 2021, and just kind of kept the ship going in the right direction. So I know it took a lot of effort, time, sacrifice. So I want to thank your family too for giving you that much opportunity to navigate the ship in the right way. And I just wish that there was a way that we could clone you to keep you here in some way or another. So with that, I'll ask for any comments. Sure.
It's already been said, but Maria, I still remember the phone call when I called you about serving in that role. And as was already been expressed, it was a very difficult time to step into the role, but you stepped into it with good leadership, with a steady hand, with excellent communication during that time. So it really, as we brought Sonia into the department, it was your good leadership during that time that brought that transition and made it so much easier. So just on my behalf, I want to thank you for accepting that call and for accepting the role. You did an excellent job.
Are there any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none. Maria, would you please step forward to receive your retirement plaque and take a photo with the board, and bring your family with you.
You got it. Good morning. How are you? Enjoy your retirement. Good morning.
Give her a back.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Gather around.
Okay, one more.
All right. Item number 4, Madam Clerk.
We now move to item number 4 under the Board of Supervisors, presentation of retirement plaque to Michael Rowe, Department of County Council, 26 years of service.
Mr. Cedarborg.
I can see the grimaces on everyone's faces up there because they're afraid they've given me a microphone and a dais. But fortunately, I'm here to laud a member of my office, Mike Rowe. Mike, why don't you go ahead and come up? Mike has been with the county for over 26 years, if you count his extra help year. He's been a very, very important component of our office, dealing in difficult areas in public contracting, in the landfill and Williamson Act, and many other areas with our Planning and Public Works department. I know that at least once we get his office cleaned out, everybody. You're not laughing, but if you'd seen, everyone that has seen it from the partners are laughing, that he's going to be deeply missed by our office. He is the type of attorney that when I came, and if there was a quick answer I needed, I could always go to him and get it, and get the short answer, something I know the board appreciates, and it would be right, and it would steer me in the correct direction. I think that Mike's value and commitment to the county is in part demonstrated by the fact we've got several retirees that have come, among them former County Counsel Dennis Marshall and former Assistant County Counsel Janelle Kelly, because Mike was such an integral part of our office and their work lives. I've been proud to know Mike as an attorney. He was a big help to me along with the rest of the staff when I first got here 9.5 years ago. And I'm proud to have worked with him as an attorney. Most of all, I'm proud to know him as a man, as we've all observed his dedication and his commitment to his beloved wife, Susan, in this last year and over the years. It's just been an example to all of us, and in ways that go deeper than just the practice of the law. So we're very sorry to be losing Mike at this juncture. He will be missed, and I'll let you say something if you would like.
Thanks. I'd like to thank everyone who came today. I'll try to be brief. I'm an attorney.
Yeah, we're used to it. It's okay.
My years with County Council provided by far the most rewarding working atmosphere I experienced during my approximate 40 years engaged in the practice of law. I viewed my role in our office as being a member of a team whose purpose is to advance the public interest by providing advice and counsel intended to ensure that the county's resources are utilized properly and effectively in accordance with the directives of the Board of Supervisors. I want to thank all of my supervisors and colleagues and all of the members of our support staff here at Fresno County Council, both past and present, since I started working here in 1996. There also have been numerous clients with whom I have had a most enjoyable working relationship over the years, many of whom I will always number among my friends. My wife and I are originally from Indiana, although we've been in California now for over 40 years, and here in the Central Valley since November of 1988. I don't have any family in California except my wife, and she's been seriously ill for the past several months and cannot be here today. It's been my good fortune to work with some great people in County Council's office who have pretty much been my California family, and I would like for those of them who are in attendance today, attorneys and staff, both past and present, to come up here and stand with me when the photos are taken. And finally, my warmest regards to all, as I wish the very best for every member of the county family going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Any comments from the board? Supervisor Mendez and then
Okay, no, I'm gonna miss your opining. I did have was able to work with you close in for the last 8 years and, on different things, and Transportation Authority, that was one of your assignments. So I'm gonna really miss you, Mike.
I know my office spends a lot of time calling county council's office, getting advice on numerous things from code enforcement issues to traffic issues to other things. And I too am going to miss having an opportunity to speak with you, whether it's here in open session or when we have a constituent issue that we're trying to receive relief from. So hopefully I will see you outside of the county at areas where we get to interact, but you will be sorely missed, and appreciate all your efforts here at the county.
Yeah, like Buddy Mike, I got to serve with you on the Fresno County Transportation Authority, and a couple of times over the years, I think I've been on that board 11 years now, but several times over the years, I've turned to you and bounced things off of you, and you've kept me in line and make sure the things that I'm working on are, squared up. And so I do appreciate all your hard work for the county, and I do appreciate the testimonies today about you taking care of your family, and that's a very valuable thing. So I just wanted to say that and honor you today.
Well, Mike, I'm the lowest maintenance of all the supervisors here because I only see you on the dais. I'm not calling you, and I'm not on the Transportation Authority, but I appreciate everything you've done when you were here on the dais with us.
Mike, thank you for all your hard work, and I appreciate all the solid advice that you've given us over the years. We're going to miss you, as Supervisor Mendez said. So feel free to come back and drop in and say hello. Okay. Do we have any comments from the public? Okay, Mike, would you please step forward and receive your retirement plaque and take a photo with the board?
Oh.
Yes, yes, she did.
We now move to item number 5, under Chairman Quintero, proclaim September 19, 2023 as Voter Registration Day and the weeks of September 18 through the 29th, 2023 as High School Voter Education Weeks.
Mr. Cuss? Step forward to receive the proclamation.
Good morning, Chairman Quintero and Supervisors. I am James Coos, your Fresno County Clerk, Registrar of Voters. I'd like to thank the Chairman and the Board for recognizing today and the coming weeks as National Registration Day and California High School Registration Weeks. I would also like to note that last week was National Disability Voter Registration Week, and I have Sarah Harris with me from Resources for Independence Central Valley to talk briefly about that in a few moments. Fresno County has had near record participation during the November 2020 presidential election, and if you hadn't noticed, we might have one of those kind of big elections coming up here pretty soon. At the height of the COVID pandemic, 370,000 Fresno County residents voted, but that represented only 74% of registered voters at that time. Today, we have over 500,000 registered voters in Fresno County, but the U.S. Census Bureau estimates that another 100,000 are eligible to vote but not registered. That would be, looking at 2020, over 200,000 potential voters that did not participate, over half of which aren't registered at all. Another 12,000 Fresno County citizens turn 18 each year and become eligible to vote. It's a moving target. Today and these highlighted weeks in September are opportunities to reach out to our eligible but unregistered citizens to assist them in joining our participatory democracy. A registered voter receives early and sometimes they say too frequent notices about upcoming elections and the opportunity to decide how they wish to vote during an election. Every eligible voter can participate under California's voters voting regulations, but a registered voter is empowered in their choice. I also want to encourage our currently registered voters to take this opportunity to consider if they should be re-registering at this time to ensure that they have the most up-to-date information that's available to my office. If you have moved, changed political party, changed your last name, or have had a change in signature due to illness or the passage of time, you should take a moment to re-register. Online registration is available, fast, and convenient if you have changed your residential or mailing address. If your signature has changed, I recommend using a paper registration to provide the best comparison sample possible. My department, and with me today, I have Rachel Lopez and Gloria Ayala from my department, who are both very active in registration, is currently providing registration assistance at new citizen ceremonies year-round, and will be at high schools and community colleges across the county this week and next. And we are happy to provide materials and information to any high school within the county at any time of the year at their request. Be on the lookout for our local political parties and nonprofits providing registration services at the Big Fresno Fair in the coming weeks. The Fresno County Board of Education is actively working with school districts throughout the county to encourage registration and pre-registration of 16 and 17-year-olds. Pre-registration automatically converts to registration when the registrant turns 18. This can take the form of instructor-led programs, parental informational nights, and leadership club booths during back-to-school events. Nonprofits like the League of Women Voters and Delta Sigma Theta are doing registration outreach activities with high schools in Fresno Unified and Clovis Unified over the next 2 weeks. And we have community partners like Resources for Independence Central Valley reaching out to constituent communities to provide additional registration resources. I'd like to welcome Sarah Harris up to tell you a little bit more about that.
go. All right, I gotta make sure you can hear me, right? So as James said, my name is Sarah Harris. I am the Director of Programs at Resources for Independence Central Valley. And last week was National Disability Voting Registration Week as well. It's really important for us to encourage people, all people, to get out and vote, but especially people with disabilities, because they are the largest marginalized group within the United States. It's a group that anybody can join at any time. And it's very important to encourage folks to get out and vote. I have been working with James for many years. He actually saved my right to my private and independent vote many, many moons ago when he was, I don't know, what was your role? You were an IT guy?
Program manager.
He was a program manager, yes. He came and the machine did not work, and we made sure that the machine worked, and I was able to cast my vote. And those are the kind of things that the Fresno County Elections Office and Resources for Independence Central Valley do, is we work together to ensure that people with disabilities and all other residents of Fresno County are able to cast their vote in whichever way works best for them. And thank you for celebrating this. And and I just have to say, because I'm me, outside of naming this voter registration day, it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. It's pretty important. So thank you very, very much.
Are there any comments from the board? Okay. Do we have any comments from the public?
Buenos dias, Gloria Hernandez. I'm 69 years old. I was one of those that was 17 when the law changed that 18-year-olds could vote, and I've been voting every year. And I was one of the fortunate that back in the day, they used to teach civics and Constitution in high school. So I'm very aware and very grateful to the Fresno County Elections Department. We even had mock elections where we would pretend we were the ones running for president and then had the elections at the high school. I wish that was happening now. I wish civics was taught in school, because then we wouldn't have a bunch of ignorant people espousing so much hate. But I encourage everybody to register to vote, and I encourage everybody to know your ballot. And I'm going to ask you a question. Who's the most famous character in The Wizard of Oz?
Most famous character? What?
The best character, the smartest character at The Wizard of Oz.
Gloria Hernandez.
Wizard of Oz, the movie. It's Toto.
Yeah.
Because Toto pulled that curtain and showed you that the wizard was just a mere man. And so I'm asking people, pull that curtain and see who donates.
Any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Please come forward, James. Sal Quintero, thank you for all your work.
And Nathan Maxig,
Otra vez.
thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Sarah's buddy. Good, good. I would have went over there and talked to you, but I didn't see you until the meeting started.
I didn't see you either up
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha, buddy.
We now move to item number 6, under Chairman Quintero and Supervisor Pacheco, adopt resolution recognizing the Episcopal consecration of Dr. Paul Binion II.
Okay. Would Dr. Paul Binion step forward to receive this resolution? With that, I'll hand it over to Supervisor Pacheco for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my pleasure today to present this proclamation with you. Pastor Binion has been an influential leader in our community for many years, including leading the West Side Church of God, creating the nonprofit Southwest Fresno Development Corporation, establishing a counseling center, and developing an education and career initiative to help students obtain educational and professional services. He's an advisor and confidant to numerous organizations, ministries, fellowships, individuals, and leaders in our city and throughout the valley. It's my pleasure, along with Supervisor Quintero and the entire board, to congratulate Pastor Binion on his Episcopal consecration to the office of bishop and to recognize all that he has done for our community. Pastor Binion.
Well, I'm very grateful for this acknowledgement. Again, I appreciate your taking time. And again, I'm grateful again for how God has been very good to me. The Bible says, to whom much given, much is required. And I have been blessed and be the recipient of much consideration and many resources. And so what I do for my community for the past 46 years. I hope God gives me 46 more, but I don't think so. But again, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and thank you so much for the recognition.
Do we have any comments from the board?
So Pastor Binion, congratulations. And as a son of a pastor, as I grew up in this community, I can remember many events that my dad would take me to, and you would be there. And just the challenges a pastor faces are significant. And I appreciate your steadfast commitment not only to Fresno, but to your family and the godly man that you are. And I have no doubt that God is proud of all of your efforts and will continue to bless you. So thank you for the model of a man that you've been to me.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Pastor Binion, for being a friend and a leader to our community. In tough times, you've jumped in right in the middle of the fray and brought wisdom and peace in our community. And I was there, and I remember those times. So I appreciate all of your efforts. That goes beyond just your own flock to take in all of our community, and we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor, I've known you for quite a few years. I think I had dark hair when we met.
Yeah,
And
me too.
You did too, huh? Yes, but I want to thank you because you've always been a constant guiding light in our community, and also many times that you've served as a conscience of our community. And I want to thank you for that because there's been, in times of turmoil, you've been a steady guiding force there. And I really appreciate that. And I want to thank you for that. And I'm very happy about your consecration to bishop. It's nice. And with that, I'd like to have Supervisor Pacheco make the motion.
I'd make the motion to approve this resolution, Mr. Chairman.
And I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. One thing I forgot, any comments from the public?
No.
Right.
One's coming.
One is coming.
Gloria Hernandez, once again, on behalf of the Brown community, I honor you and I respect you and I thank you for everything you've done for our community. Aho.
Please come forward, Pastor Binion, to accept your.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
We now move to item number 7 under Supervisor Magsic, proclaim September 2023 as National Recovery Month in Fresno County.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes. Supervisor Magzick, item number 7.
Excellent, thank you. So, this month being Recovery Month, one of the things that I wanted to talk briefly about is at the church that I attend, New Covenant Church, we have a program called Celebrate Recovery. And one of the things that's talked about there is, you know, you're either in recovery or you're in denial. And I know I've said that several times up here from the dais, but many times we forget that all of us have our own personal struggles and challenges. And with addictions in life, individuals need to know that they are not alone. And there are organizations, people that want to wrap their arms around them and help them get to recovery. So we do have a proclamation today, but before I get to saying too much more about that, I'd like to invite Susan Holt forward. And I know that accepting the National Recovery Month proclamation here, we've got Joseph Rangel, I think, that's here, Brian Bradley of Community Partners for Recovery, which these everyone that's wearing these shirts that say CPR4 or CP4R, excuse me, stands for Community Partners for Recovery. They host the Sober Stock event, which is Fresno's longest-running celebration of recovery. The organization is made up of providers, clinicians, and those who lived in the experience of recovery. So with that, Susan, if you can speak to the team that's here today and how impactful they are in our community.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Magsig, Chairman, and members of the Board of Supervisors. It's such an honor to be here to talk about recovery in National Recovery Month. In these times, you know, in 2023, I would have hoped we'd have busted stigma by now. But stigma is alive and well, and we've seen that play out in the media. We see that play out on the streets of Fresno. And sometimes we see it even in our own families and our neighborhood. And stigma is one of the greatest barriers to accessing healthcare services to treat addiction. And so in Recovery Month, we talk openly about recovery in the community. And those of us in the treatment space do that all day long, every day of the year. And so we really appreciate each of you here talking openly about addiction, and about access to healthcare services, and about how addiction touches the lives of every single one of us. And so thank you all for that. And I'll turn it over to my colleague, Joseph Rangel, who will introduce our colleagues here to talk more about recovery and the event later this month.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, Chairman Quintero, Board of Supervisors, Joseph Rangel, Department of Behavioral Health. Supervisor Magsig, thank you so much for sponsoring this item for us as well as the board. We really appreciate the time. Behind me, I have Community Partners for Recovery. They're going to be saying a few words after we're done with the other items here. September is National Recovery Month and is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. National Recovery Month has been observed every year since 1989. This is the 34th annual observance. National Recovery Month is a national observance held every September to educate Americans that substance use treatment and mental health services can enable those with a mental and/or substance use disorder to live a healthy and rewarding life. The annual theme, every person, every family, every community, works to promote and support new evidence-based practices and treatment, the emergence of a strong and proud recovery community, and the dedication of service providers and community members across the nation who make recovery in all its forms possible. Recovery Month celebrates the gains made by those in recovery, just as we celebrate health improvements made by those who are managing other health conditions, such as hypertension, diabetes, asthma, and heart disease. This observance reinforces the positive message that behavioral health is essential to overall health, prevention works, treatment is effective, and people can and do recover. There is a local event coming up on September 30th called Sober Stock that I would like one of our community-based organizations to give you more information on. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Brian Bradley and his team from Community Partners for Recovery to say a few words.
Good morning. First off, I'd like to just thank you, the board, Joseph, Susan, and Fresno County for their support in this. This is our 18th annual Sober Stock, and it's going to be hopefully bigger than any other Sober Stocks that we've had. We got a concert lined up, car shows, bike shows, food, fun, kid games, you name it, we got it. And so there's not much I can say about as far as dealing with substance issues, mental health issues that hasn't been said. We've all had to deal with that somewhere in our lives. Somebody in our lives has had issues. So I'm not going to get into that. But my thing is, I just want to thank you and the County of Fresno for allowing us to have this event and to put this event on and to support this event every single year. And every year we want it to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And let me see if, does anybody else have anything to say? Michael? It's at the Water Tower. Okay. And it's at the Water Tower downtown this year. And I also want to acknowledge John Ducher, who is not with us anymore, and Lynn Pimentel of West Care, who started this 21 years ago. And it's still going strong, and we're gonna keep going as long as we can. Thank you.
No other speakers? Do we have any comments from the board?
Supervisor Quintero, Susan and Joe, and all the volunteers, I want to let you know that we appreciate you. Yesterday, about this time, I got a call from a good friend of mine who had a relapse over the summertime, and he'd been in recovery, and so his family's taking him to a program today. So, Susan, you were right. All of us are connected to some addictions, either ourselves or somebody close, very close to us. So we need to remove the stigma and allow people to get healthy, and be a blessing rather than a curse. So I think that's what all of you are doing, and I appreciate it. And good luck on your event, and thank you.
Right? Brian, I want to thank you for mentioning John Ducher. Went to high school with him, and didn't see him after high school until early 2000s, and by then we connected, started talking, and he told me about Sober Stock, had the program, and the event at Manchester Center where it was started. And I remember he was always hustling, trying to get it to work and trying to get a lot of help, but he had such enthusiasm for working with the clients and really getting them involved in the community and working with them individually as well. So you're right, he's going to be sorely missed, but I want to thank you for the commitment that you all have made and also keeping the festival, I call it a festival, the festival going. So I want to tell you that you're living proof that Sober Stock and help really works. So we want to thank you for that. Okay, with that, is there any comments from the public? Yes.
Thank you all for doing this. I'd like to point out to the board that maybe you should fund more recovery centers because we sure as hell need them. Let's give some money to Susan to expand those programs. Thank you.
other comment from the public?
Hi, Des Martinez. I would like to back up what Gloria is saying. I am the mother of a son who just finished recovery, rehab. And in recovery, he says it's very important for him to have a place to go, not back home, where life is simple. There's no rules, there's no groups, there's no responsibilities. I have responsibilities, right? But not what he needs. And when he just graduated, he had nowhere to go. If he didn't have his mother, he would be back in the streets in a tent and guaranteed within 7 days be back on drugs. So it's so important for you guys to start investing more funds into recovery straight from the rehab, because we are sending people back to their death sentence when we don't have a sober home for them to go to. We also need to start investing into LGBTQ sober home livings. My son really wouldn't be accepted at any other regular sober home living because I can't think of one straight man that hasn't had something to say about my son. So it's very important to start paying attention to LGBTQ, start getting recovery centers for them, so they can feel safe, so they can feel accepted. But not only that, the most important things that people are lacking right now are sober home livings. We have a lot of them, but every single one of them are full. They all have waiting lists. And like I said, if we don't get them, we're going to be sending people back to the streets, and in 1 week, they're going to be back on drugs. And if there's another way we can have people accepted into rehab without having to be dirty, Mr. Matt Green Eyes went to a rehab and asked to get in. He was told to come back. He didn't make it. He had to be dirty, so he went to a park and got high and died because he was sold fentanyl. And I know some of the people here know what I'm talking about. So this is sad. He had to die trying to recover. So please pay attention to what is happening in the county. And we do need more rehabs, sober home livings, a lot. Today, tomorrow, it's not fast enough. We don't have enough. My son had a mother that there's many other children out there that don't have a parent to go to, and you're sending them back to the streets. But I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Thank you, Dane. Thank you for everything, dude. He's been around for a while. That's it. Thanks.
I just wanted to thank everybody up here for the hard work that they do. It is hard work, and I know, there's so many people out there trying to recover. Ditto to what Des and Gloria said about what's going on with drugs. People need more of these programs. They really do. They ask for them. I'm a volunteer with the Fresno Homeless Union. We go out there, we give rides in the winter to warming centers. We pass out water, and you do see the addiction. You do, some people are severely addicted. The prevalence of drugs in our streets is a lot. There's a lot out there, cheap. So I urge you to do everything you can in your power to increase the work of the social services, to provide more drug rehab counseling, to do more direct outreach out there to give people some hope. We're trying to take a housing first approach when it comes to this matter, which has been proven effective around the world, which basically you provide a person a house first, because then they have the ability to get off the drugs with case management, with rehab if they need it, and other services until they get back on their feet. This approach has been successful. We see the state has spent, $17.5 billion, some of which has come to the county. It's all been temporary solutions. It's all been, shelters and transitional housing. A few permanent supportive housing units were established, and we like that. That's good. We need more of the permanent supportive housing, more of a housing first approach, because when you see the reality of it out there, it's hard to get off those drugs when you're trying to go live in these shelters There's a lot of drugs around these shelters, so they need a permanent solution to this to really get off drugs and get back on their feet. So I urge you to look at the Housing First model, do some research on that. Let's try to take that approach from this step forward. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ruben Espinoza, and I'm here today in support of this item. I am 7 years clean. I'm proud to stand with a group of folks who put on events like this, because I think that's what really gives hope to those who are in recovery. And I also wanted to bring up that I'm on the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council as the at-large community representative there. And there I have also advocated because of my own lived experience as a young person with substance abuse issues, and to the point of destigmatizing recovery. We have to stop relying on punitive approaches to those who are chemically dependent, especially our youth. In my own experience, for me, that was my starting point into the juvenile justice system, was because I did have a substance use issue, and to me, there was only the Floyd Farrell Substance Abuse Unit program, which is inside the juvenile hall, and in order for you to receive those services, you have to be convicted. And so to me, that really wasn't help, even though it was therapeutic. There was a therapeutic component. The environment was trauma-inducing, so for those two components to counteract each other, I didn't get the help that I really needed. And so I really want to urge the Board of Supervisors to build something for the youth out there in the county. I was living in Fowler at the time, and so I wasn't living in Fresno. But there are youth in the smaller rural communities that are struggling with drug addiction, substance abuse, and the only thing out there for them is incarceration at the moment. And so I would like to urge the Board of Supervisors to look at that and be proactive about the situation, because in order for us to destigmatize it, we have to stop coming at it with punitive approaches and let people know that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and even if it's with drug addiction, especially our youth. And so that's what I wanted to uplift today, and thank you for this.
No more comments from the public. With that, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Please come forward and accept the proclamation and take a picture with the board. Thank you. Presentation, Brian. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Morning. Morning. Thank you. I'll hand this to you. Here's your proclamation. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Line them up.
Somebody said short people up front. Says no, petite, petite.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we will Go to the item that was pulled on consent from Supervisor Brandow, item 47 from under Internal Services. Approve and authorize the chairman to execute an agreement with Mid-Valley Disposal for solid waste collection, disposal, and recycling services for county-owned and operated properties affected upon execution, not to exceed 5 consecutive years, which includes a 1-year base contract and 4 optional 1-year extensions.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Supervisor Brandow?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, on item number 47, you know, that law that passed starting in January, SB 1349, very confusing, poorly written law. And I don't even know if it applies to me today. That's how bad this law is written. But out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to recuse myself on voting for this item number 47. So I'm going to leave the room for a few minutes while you guys deal with that item, okay? Thank you.
Okay, item 47, any questions from the board?
No, pretty straightforward.
Seeing none, okay. So we don't need any presentation. You said it's pretty straightforward. Okay, with that, do we have any comments from the public regarding this item? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes all consent items that were pulled from this morning. We return to the regular agenda. Item number 8,
We get Steve.
under Supervisor Maxig, adopt resolution approving amendment to Fresno County Charter Section 12, adding a new subsection F to provide for the naming of geographic features or locations within the unincorporated county of Fresno by the Board of Supervisors, and provide direction to county clerk register of voters to place on the March 5th, 2024 primary election ballot.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, if it's okay, I can provide some brief comments on this.
pardon me?
I can provide some brief comments if it's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
So with this proposed charter amendment, Board, I brought this forward today and really want to thank County Council's office. My office has been working with them to come up with some language that should be appropriate. And what has prompted this today are a couple of different issues that have taken place over the course of the last few years, and even more recently, a couple months ago. So last year, the state of California passed a law, AB 2022, which has formed a committee that can deem any place name, any road name in the state of California as being offensive. And then this non-elected committee, which has formed, has the ability to come up with a new name as well. And so I have concerns with this, and I think it's always important to have as much local control as possible. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this charter amendment forward for the voters is so that all voters of Fresno County could have an opportunity to weigh in on if they believe that local control really matters when it comes to name changes. Beyond AB 2022, I know that just a few months ago there was an attempt by the city of Fresno to rename, I think, about 11 miles of county roads. There were some city roads, but also county roads, and it caused a lot of confusion for my constituents and maybe some of your constituents as well. So again, with this charter amendment, it makes it very clear that when it comes to areas where the county has jurisdiction, the Board of Supervisors is the entity that can make those changes. Again, with us, we have an opportunity for the public to come and weigh in and make comments. For me, when it comes to changing names, which I am open to doing that, I think it's a process that needs to be methodical and one that includes all residents of a particular area that's being impacted. So that's why I'm bringing this forward today. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Do we have any comments from the board? Questions? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any comments from the public? Here we go. Folks, excuse me, I just want to make a comment and remind the public that we have 15 minutes for comment on the items, so you may want to think about the people behind you that are also going to be speaking. So we have a time limit.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. My name is Baird Taylor. I live in Yokuts Valley. So I just want to recognize that Yokuts Valley is the new name for zip code 93675. Now, it says in the resolution, the fourth whereas, it says the provisions of AB 2022 and the procedures established thereunder disregard historical factors and local control involved in naming of geographical features and place names, and further establishes arbitrary processes whereby local historically named geographical features and places may be summarily renamed. Well, there's some real inaccuracies, severe inaccuracies with how it puts that. For one thing, disregarding historical factors, we have 12,000 to 25,000 years of history of the Yokuts people being in this area. And I have never heard anybody who's supporting this kind of opposition to Yokuts Valley of even mentioning the history of the Yokuts people. You never hear it. I think that is a terrible misjudgment or whatever, but it's just terrible to say that the only history that counts is the history that is the last 170 years of white settlers and their descendants, basically. So that's not accurate. Then the issue of local control, this has been mentioned many times in this body here about why it is that we need to oppose the name change. But I would say to that two things. Number one, when you gerrymander a district, that's taking local control out of the local people and putting it in the power of those who benefit from the gerrymandering, which are, in this case, the county supervisors. So I think to say that you're for local control and then to be gerrymandering shows me, and it tells me that you're not really serious about local control. What you're interested more in is power, the power grab here. And so I find that those are two things. Just really quickly, the whereas says that the process was
Thank you, Mr.
arbitrary and
Taylor.
summarily.
I'm
And
sorry.
those are
we're
not
done.
true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for the next speaker. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Roseanne Dominguez. I'm one of those who are against the name change of Squaw Valley. It confuses the heck out of me when I see the news people say Yokuts. I think, where the heck is that? You know, that's not my home. I feel like I'm being erased. I feel like my history of my family, which are Wukchumni and Wuxachi, but primarily Wukchumni, are being erased from their own valley. And if this is a means of keeping control, keeping our name, I'm all for it. And I hope you think about it, because Squaw Valley has been here much longer than Fresno. And if it happens to Squaw Valley, it could easily happen to you. If someone comes along and says, I find that name offensive. All right? I think we need to have a better sense of what we're doing. And I really don't want to be erased from history. And that's how I feel every time I see or hear the news say Yokuts Valley. There's a fire in Yokuts Valley. And I'm always, where the heck is that? Because that's not our home. You know, I've said before at this board, I've been here. I'm a direct descendant from the people from Squaw Valley. And I find it extremely offensive that there are people who live in Squaw Valley who are for the change, but that's their choice. I've lived there. My ancestors have lived there, going back to the conquistadors. And I don't think we should change. I don't think we should be forced to change because someone, somewhere along the line, finds the word offensive. It is a case, in my opinion, of don't hang on to the negative, find the positive. We've always found, and we've stated it, women are strong. Women are who continue our human race. Squaw means woman to so many people. True, to a lot of other people, it's a derogatory word based on the use, but I don't believe in going based on use. I believe on going on what it actually is. What it actually is to me and my family, to my cousins, to those remaining descendants from the original inhabitants of that valley is woman. And I don't think it's a negative word. I've never thought it's been a negative word. And anyone who's had it used negatively against them quickly corrected the person who said it. It's a matter of schooling. It's a matter of learning the proper use of it. And that's what I think we need to remember. But like I said, what happened to us could happen to Fresno. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mingus.
Roman Raintree. I'm not surprised by you guys' actions. You guys haven't even accepted the new name. It's Yokuts Valley. You should go through the same process we went through to advocate the change. And you're all wrong. AB 22 doesn't establish a review board like that. I ought to know. I helped author that piece of legislation. I know exactly what that bill does and what it intends. And this is just bogus. I think this is a prime example of Fresno County's institutionalized racism. Later on in this chambers, you guys are going to pass a resolution acknowledging California Indian Day on Friday. It's ridiculous. You guys don't adhere to your own personal values or even the mission or the guiding principles of which you all swore to adhere. Outside in the hallway, you got smoke signals depicted from my people. My people have been here since time immemorial, buried up there. Pictographs in the national park. It's just funny that you never even sat down to talk to me. The only time we've ever talked, Mr. Magzik, is like this. You had every opportunity, and then it's going to be something bewildering if you do, guys, successfully rename it from Yokuts Valley to something else, say Bear Mountain Valley. July of 2021, I came to you with a proposal suggesting that name. You guys blew me off, didn't want to listen to me. So I submitted our proposal with the name that we, the community, the consensus of the Native community in Fresno County has gathered upon and supported. And to this day, you have yet to accept what the state and the federal government have decided. Instead, you want to change the rules, but you lost by the rules in which we're all bound to play by. It's disgusting. It absolutely is. The racism, the blatant racism. Where's the big celebration for California Indian Day? Who's going to be receiving that resolution? Why isn't it public? They had a big celebration for the city of Fresno. My auntie was the one who received it last year. No, it's going to happen behind closed doors, right? It's appalling. You all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Gloria Hernandez, you mentioned two items that the county had a problem with, and that was Cesar Chavez Boulevard and also Yokuts Valley. I find it very strange that today, this Board of Supervisors is talking about slapping the natives in the back, saying, hey, good native, and then stabbing them in the heart by changing the charter, using my taxpayers' money to continue the racism. It's embarrassing. I thought by now we all be awoke to how people feel. So I'm gonna ask you to drop it. Drop it. Stop using my taxpayers' money to promote racism.
Thank you, Bob McCloskey. I'm with the Fresno Community Alliance as well. I'm on the board and I'm a writer for them. I just wanted to bring up some basic lessons in civics, I guess you'd say. The supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution establishes that state laws are subordinate to federal laws and regulations. Put simply, federal law governs state law. However, this is only the case when federal and state laws conflict with one another. The same principle applies to state and local laws. State law will preempt a local ordinance if there is a true conflict between the two. It is impossible to comply with state law and the local. If it is impossible to comply with both, the state law governs. I just want to reiterate the history here of the U.S. Board of Geographic Names. Back in 1890, it was given the authority to resolve all unsettled questions concerning accepting names. The BGN was given the ability to make decisions, and they were all binding by all departments and agencies of the federal government. In 1906, President Roosevelt extended the responsibility of the Board of Geographic Names to adjudicating conflicts, and now has authority to standardize all geographic names for federal use. As a general matter, the restriction on the exercise of a county or city's authority depends on whether the proposed local enactment conflicts with federal or state law. This is a concept known as preemption. Federal or state law may preempt local officials' ability to legislate on a particular area when there's a conflict with federal or state law. We all know, I'm thinking this is a last-ditch effort to try to keep the name. That's impossible. Maybe it's an effort to get a new name. There was ample opportunity for residents and everybody in the county to give input on that with the State Board of Geographic Names, which has full authority here to name geographic areas. I notice the resolution says you want to name geographic and other areas. That's impossible. You don't have that authority. To put something, and I urge the county council to look closely at this issue, and the complete authority of the Board of Geographic Names at the federal and state level on this issue. It's pretty clear to me. Thank you very much.
We've got 3 more speakers and maybe just a few minutes left, so just.
Okay, Doug. I think, my name is Linda Tubak. I'm a resident of Yokuts Valley. I think it's obvious that this proposal is unconstitutional and illegal. I'm a high school civics teacher. Federal and state law trump local ordinances, always. And I can't even imagine that it could be an option, the squaw word, can't imagine that would even be an option in any future decision-making at any level. It's federal order. There are only, I think, 3 words that are deemed that offensive by the federal government. And now this word is one more of them. I think you should all know this by now. And the fact that this should be obvious to you, and I think it's obvious to many people. I can't imagine county council isn't advising you on this. The question comes to me, what in the world is motivating this? And it seems clear to me that it's misleading the community, it's extremely divisive, and what's motivating this is pandering to a small segment of our community, stoking the haters of the federal and state government, haters of indigenous justice, haters of race and gender justice. Why? Why? To build your base on Facebook? This is what I don't understand, is why these haters don't also turn on county government, especially considering it was you, Supervisor Magzig, that refused to have any community discussion or dialogue on this subject 3 years ago, despite multiple requests from community members to do so. But now it's an issue after there's been ample opportunity for community input, and it's now a federal order and a state law, by the way, that you just once again misled the community on by saying, oh, this law sets up a committee that can deem anything offensive. That's a lie. That law is specifically directed to that word. A word that, once again, I challenge any one of you men to go home and try using with one of your loved ones, one of the women in your lives, and see how they react. It is offensive. It's been decided, and I think you should withdraw completely this proposal as soon as possible. Thank you.
Our time is up, but we'll permit you to, both of you, to
Thank you.
wrap it up. Yes.
I'll be brief. My name is Brent Burdine, and I'm here to support the resolution. I believe this is a local issue, and that the County Board of Supervisors is the place to resolve these issues, these community issues that are in unincorporated areas. And when we look at the different levels of government, we need to realize there's different areas between what is regulatory, what is legislative, what sets up standardizations. The BGN was there to set up standardizations. And we always must be careful of the overreach of administrative units that tend to make law and dictate law without the legislative body. So I'm in support of the resolution. I believe it's your duty and responsibility of the board to handle these matters. Thank you.
I'll be brief as well. My name is Sean Burdine. I also would like to speak in support of this item. I agree with everything the previous speaker just said. What we've been watching for the last several years, for many years, really, when you look into the larger picture, it's state and federal government continues to try to extract more and more and more and more authority. At what point does local government even have any authority anymore? So I applaud you guys for actually taking a stance on this and actually saying, no, this is up to us. This is our home. This is where we live. This is up to us and our residents. And I've been following this. I know that there has been a public dialogue. I've been in this room when I've seen, residents of that area, like a previous speaker, actually of ancestry, that says, no, this word has not been racist to me. This has not been, a derogatory term to me and my family. So we get into this heated battle of people saying this is racist, this is bad, this is that. And it just goes in circles forever. Ultimately, what this should come down to is what the residents in the area believe, what the residents of the area want, and the local government to help regulate that and guide that sort of discussion, help that determination process come to light. And I was here too when you presented that survey to the area, and it was overwhelmingly in support of keeping the original name. It wasn't even, close. It was a massive, massive landslide. So again, I just would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you for the opportunity to weigh in on this matter, and thank you for continuing to support and defend local control, local authority.
Thank you all, speakers. I'll bring it back to the board. Do we have any additional comments, or Supervisor Magzik, wrap it up?
Sure, just some general comments. So, what is motivating this? So I'll kind of sum up this way. What's motivating this is giving an opportunity for all the voters of Fresno County to weigh in on this. I'm one who believes that the voters here locally should have an opportunity to decide on this issue. And this issue is more than just one community. It applies to, again, street names. It applies to unincorporated communities. And I trust what the will of what the voters are going to end up deciding here in Fresno County. So with this charter amendment, it applies to more than just one community that has an opportunity to weigh in. It's all residents here in Fresno County. And as far as AB 2022, I would encourage, there was several speakers who I guess were unaware that there is a non-elected committee that's baked into that bill. That committee has already changed other community names. And by the way, I'm happy to meet with anyone here who is not aware of that, and I can show you exactly where that's already taking place. But again, so why are we here today? Why are we doing this? For me, it's very important to make sure that my constituents have an opportunity for their voices to be heard. I know that the process I used a year ago, you know, some criticized and said that was more of a survey. We need to have an actual vote where people have an opportunity to vote, where ballots are mailed out. So that's kind of what this is, but it's much larger than just one area of Fresno County. This is going to be the whole county. And again, I trust the will of the voters, and I'm ready to make a motion unless if anyone else has any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say one thing before we vote. Well, I appreciate my colleague Supervisor Magsig and his tireless effort to represent his community. And on this issue, I think it's very tough because when you have a divided community, you're never going to make everybody happy. And while I appreciate this item addresses the entire county, it's clearly regarding the Squaw Valley, Yokuts Valley decision. So I fully support letting the voters decide. However, in my opinion, this issue or procedure has already been decided by our current laws. As the previous speakers have said, I firmly believe too that we have a constitutional republic, and as such, federal government supersedes the state, state supersedes the county. If this was an administrative decision, then I would support this resolution, but this was a law that went through the legislative process and was signed by the governor, and that's our system. We may not always like the outcome, but that is the system and the rules that we have in place. I believe this is a divisive issue, and there is no resolution on this. You cannot find common ground by what we witnessed today and over the last several months. So because of that, I personally will not be supporting this. I believe it's already in our laws. It's already been decided, and it's an act of futility that no matter what happens, and even if it passes by our voters, it's simply a symbolic vote that nothing will come about. And as my colleague has said many times, he doesn't believe in Seinfeld, and I believe this is a Seinfeld. Again, I respect you for what you're wanting to do for your constituents, but I don't believe this will have any effect on what your desired outcome is, but that's strictly my opinion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments? Okay. With that, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
I will move to adopt the resolution and move this forward to the voters.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
Motion carries with 3-2, Supervisor Pacheco and Chairman Quintero voting no. We now move to item number 9. Under the Board of Supervisors, approve and adopt the 2024 regular meeting schedule for the Board of Supervisors as outlined in Attachment A in your packet, and direct the clerk of the board to publish the 2024 regular meeting schedule of the Board of Supervisors on the Fresno County website, and to advise all county departments of the meeting schedule and submission dates for agenda items. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, before you is the proposed 2024 regular meeting. The proposed calendar includes 22 regular board meetings. If your board wishes to make changes to the 2024 meeting, you may do so at this time. I'm available should you have questions.
Okay. Any comments from the board? Okay. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, I will enter.
No, this is
No.
on item number 9.
This is item number 9.
Is there an unscheduled comment?
Yes, there is. If you look at the agenda, it's item 14.
Okay, for item number 9, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
We now move to item number 10 under Human Resources. Approve the biweekly premiums for active employees and dependents for plan year 2024 effective December 11, 2023, and approve the monthly premiums for retirees and dependents for plan year 2024 effective January 1st, 2024.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, Hollis McGill, your Director of Human Resources. With me is Davana Youngblood. She is the Benefits Manager, and she'll be presenting this item.
Great. Good morning, Chairman and Board of Supervisors. My name is Davana Youngblood. I am the Human Resource Manager over the Benefits Division for County of Fresno, and I am seeking the approval of the board for the biweekly premiums for our active employees and their dependents, as well as the monthly premiums for retirees and their dependents for plan year 2024. The San Joaquin Valley Insurance Authority, SJVAA, has several EPO plans. Our original EPO is the Yosemite, which has a $15 doctor's visit copay, and we had an increase of 8.6%. Our other EPO plans, which is the Sierra and the Pismo plan, which has a $35 copay, had an increase of a 3.5%. We're happy to say that the PPO and the high deductible PPO did not have an increase this year, but the Kaiser HMO did come in at a 19.52% increase. We were able to remove that parity and bring that increase down to 10.7%. And then dental and vision came in at no increase this year. What those increases did do was make the average biweekly cost of our employee with the current county contribution for employees only at $61.92 biweekly. For employees and spouse, we're looking at a biweekly average of $336.97. For employees and children, we're looking at $241.78. And for our employees with family, with current county contribution, an average biweekly of $438.56. For cost containment, what we did in the year of 2023, we did receive ARPA funds in the amount of $2.4 million, and that was from the coronavirus state and local recovery funds, and that did reimburse us for excess medical expenses that were directly related to COVID. The SGVA did receive a $4 million rebate for prescriptions. We do have a stop loss, which has a $450,000 deductible, and that helps to mitigate the impact of large claims. And as far as preventative care, the Employee Benefits Department does host events such as our biometric screenings and our flu shot clinics, and we do have one scheduled for October 12th and 13th for our open enrollment fair this year. And then our on-site mammograms we will be hosting in January of next year. For 2024, we are planning something a little different with our wellness initiative, and we will have a health engagement platform with Anthem and Kaiser. So this engagement platform will track employees' biometric screenings. It will track when the employees go in for their cancer screenings that are applicable to their age, as well as wellness coaching and wellness education classes that they will take. And we hope to incentivize our employees to continue to use this platform. And using this platform should allow us to track or identify chronic conditions earlier on, which should lead to lower claims experience, decreased plan spending, as well as reduced health premiums for our renewals. The renewals for this year, we do have open enrollment October 9th through October 27th, with an effective date for active employees for December 11th, 2023, and an active date of January 1, 2024 for our COBRA Special District and retiree benefits. I want to thank you for allowing me the time to explain this to you. I definitely want to thank my Employee Benefits Department for their hard work in administering benefits for County of Fresno employees and retirees, to my SJVA board members for their commitment to delivering quality health benefits and addressing basic and critical health needs while improving long-term wellness. And last but not least, I want to thank my Health Benefit Advisory Committee, which is the HBAC, for their continued participation and support towards providing health insurance coverage available to our employees and the retiree population. I am available for any questions.
Okay. Great. With that, any comments from the board? None? Okay. Any comments from the public?
Good afternoon. Oh, yeah, actually morning still. Chairman Quintero, members of the board. First of all, I thank your Employee Benefits Department, Ms. Davana Youngblood, Brittany, as well as Hollis, as even CAO, Mr. Nerlin. Employee costs towards healthcare has always been a big issue I'm very proud of the progression that the board has authorized over the last several years and helping trying to bring those costs down to be able to keep more money in employees' pockets while still providing quality health care services. So I'm only here today to say I recommend that the board adopt this, and I also encourage you to continue those efforts to make insurance costs more affordable for employees so that they can enjoy the benefits of not just employee coverage, but employee plus family or employee plus children. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, with that, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
I'll move for staff's recommendation.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We now move to item number 11, under Internal Services, adopt a resolution declaring county's intention to sell the surplus real property located in the corner of East Kings Canyon Road and South Cedar Avenue, Fresno, California, commonly known as the UMC property.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Chris Jones, Principal Staff Analyst for Internal Services.
Excuse me, Mr. Jones, can you please speak a little louder?
Sorry about that. Good morning. The item before your board is an updated resolution moving the sale date of the UMC campus to the next board meeting on October 10th. The date change is just an administrative cleanup needed to finalize the sale. So that means the next board meeting should be the final auction date, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Okay. Any comments from the board regarding the sale? Supervisor Magzik.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So typically I don't get upset with staff, but I'm going to have to get a little upset right now. So there was direction that was given, I think, to bring this item back on the 19th. And as I understand it, there were noticing requirements that were missed. That's why we're having to delay today, so those noticing requirements can be met.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, who's responsible for making sure that those notice requirements are met on time?
Ultimately, that's my job, and I conflated some dates with other requirements and other noticing requirements, because there's several. And yeah, we missed a publication date that we have now satisfied.
What is being done to make sure that noticing dates are not missed in the future?
I'm putting together a more comprehensive checklist of those things. Previously, they were kind of all collected into one action item, and it's more than one action item, so.
All right, excellent. So thank you for that. And see, that wasn't too bad, was it?
Supervisor Mendez.
Yeah, it's kind of like Yogi Berra, famous quote, it's deja vu all over again.
Yep.
Okay, no other comments from the board. Any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this item.
So move for staff's recommendation.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We now move to item number 12, under the Board of Supervisor Committee Reports and Comments.
Okay. Any committee reports or board comments? Supervisor Magzik.
So I want to remind everyone that the State of the County will be taking place on Thursday, and I know that Chairman Quintero is going to remind everyone of that too. But on Thursday as well, Camp Edison will be celebrating its 60th anniversary, which, again, September 21st. Camp Edison's located up in Shaver. Some representatives from my office will be up there because they're having a big celebration, and Camp Edison, which is managed, of course, by the Edison Company, has provided incredible recreational opportunities to the public. So some from my staff will be there presenting a certificate. Also, I want to give some rare praise, since I don't give a lot of praise often, but to Public Works, because right now they are repaving Watts Valley Road, and many drivers and cyclists are very thankful because the potholes that were on that road, I know, caused many flats on bikes, and I'm sure some alignment issues for people who have been driving that road the last 2 years, so we really appreciate that. That's all I have.
Okay. No other comments from the board? Number 13,
Item number 13, board appointments.
okay. Supervisor Mendez, board
Yeah.
appointments.
Ramza Corey for the Selma Cemetery District to a position previously held by Alfonso Caro.
Okay. Any other appointments from the board? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve. the
Motion to approve.
appointment. Okay,
Second.
we have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We now move to item number 14, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the board on any matter not on this agenda.
Okay, any members of the public who wish to address the board on any matter on this agenda? Seeing that the room is crowded, I will ask that
One
sign
speaker.
form behind the podium. You're limited to 3 minutes per person and no more than 15 minutes total.
I'll be brief. Hi, my name is Brent Burdine, and I just want to just make a comment in that I really appreciate the calm professionalism of the board. I think you guys do an excellent job. I know sometimes I think it can be contentious issues and a fair amount of acrimony. And I think, again, your calm and your professionalism kind of sets the tone for the room. I appreciate everybody's attention, especially Mr. Pacheco, your attention that we're dealing with our constitutional republic, and these are issues, and that we can have differences of opinion. And because we have differences of opinion, it doesn't mean it's an act of hate or it's an assault. It's just we have differences of opinion. I appreciate that, and it's my hope that the board continues to fight to that you guys keep fighting for local control and your own sovereignty. And because we do have times we're in, it seems like there's a lot of overreach and a lot of diminishing powers for the local governments. So I just want to say thank you for the job you're doing. Thank you.
I wasn't planning to speak, but I want to echo what my dad said. Sean Burdine, for the record. No, I'm out at a lot of different events, a lot of public stuff, a lot of different meetings at all different levels, and I just really want to appreciate, publicly mention, just I really appreciate the level of professionalism that's always in this room. Even when things start to get out of hand, it gets brought back in really quickly. I've been to a lot of meetings where that's not a thing. Things get really contentious, especially as I think things are so polarized, and we'll probably get more polarized in the future. So thank you.
Is this public comment? Okay. Let me see. Okay, I want to read a docket at the end. It will make sense. Auto accident, 2001. Infraction, traffic, August 2006. DUI, blood alcohol level 1.9, 2006. DUI, drug, August 2006. Murder advisement read and signed. Infraction, speed, September 2008. Infraction, no insurance. Misdemeanor, no valid driver's license. Misdemeanor, resisting arrest of a peace officer, November 2008. Misdemeanor violation, failure to appear, January 2009. Infraction, violation, traffic, July 2011. Misdemeanor DUI alcohol, August 2012. Misdemeanor DUI drug, August 2011. Infraction, no driver's license proof, November 2011. Infraction, driving around with no lights, 2011. January 2012, 4 counts of felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm, pistol whipping. Concealed firearm on person, January 2012. Carrying a loaded firearm in public, January 2012. Resisting a peace officer, January 2012. Infraction, yield the right-of-way, February 2013. August 2016, misdemeanor DUI, blood alcohol level 2.3 or 0.23. Misdemeanor DUI drug, misdemeanor hit and run of property, August 2016. February of 2017, second murder advisement read, second, Should only really had one. May 20, 2022, murder. Vehicular manslaughter. I feel that the Fresno County DA did not do their job and press the right charges on this, or this murder would have been in jail and not out here dragging a mother 8 miles through the Fresno North Side streets. This family has paid for their son's freedom for 20 years, and I feel that any family that has allowed this should not be able to support anybody financially running for election. The Ginder family has supported, my opinion, paid off, many in office. I am asking for the $8,350 sent from the Ginders to be sent back. Because this looks like he is trying to keep his place in line as the developer, but the Ginder money is blood money. And accepting this, Mr. Brandow, would make it look as if you do not care about our unhoused indigenous mothers. All she did was cross a crosswalk on a green on her way home to her concrete bed. You want to honor indigenous people? We'll start with Monique and return the blood money back to the Ginders, every single one of them. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public? Okay. Any comments from the public wishing to address the board on closed session items?
Hello, my name is Erlinda, and I'm in support for Justice for Monique. If that had been a person of color, that gentleman who killed Monique Contreras, if it was a person of color, they would have been under the jail, and they wouldn't be able to post bail, be in a medical facility, white privilege. The Ginders need to pay. Rick Ginder, he has been helping his son get off on all these charges the last 20 years with his attorney, Daniel Bacon. All these things need to be brought to the community's attention. The Ginders' money is blood money. And I hope that you guys find in your heart, if that was your child, your daughter, your mother, your niece being dragged for 8 miles, that you would look into this further. If it was your family member, if it was your child, how would you feel? What justice would you want for your family?
Okay, that closes our comments for public presentation. The next is for the any member of the public wishing to address the board on closed session items 15 to 20. Okay, seeing none, Mr. County Council Cedarborg, will we have anything to report out, or can we adjourn following closed session?
We do not anticipate, Mr. Chairman, anything to report out following closed session, so it would be appropriate if the board so chooses to adjourn following closed session.
With that, I will entertain a motion and a second to adjourn following closed session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.